Hydrodynamic Shells 4.
Okay.
Hydrodynamic Shells 4, the title of your sex tape. No. It is Hangout in the Crib with the Battle Pirates Crib crew. Welcome.
It is?
It is.
How'd I end up here?
Well, there's one less place to be on the YouTubes this week, so yeah. So you're here.
Okay.
Was he normally there? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know that I'm ever there, but
No, he was never there. I might have been there once or twice.
Yeah, I lost it all years ago.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway, so we got some TLCs and we got some megas and some other odds and ends to talk about this week. Thanksgiving tomorrow, so maybe we'll make it a short show. I don't know. But let's get into it, shall we?
Sounds good.
Oh, wait. I didn't introduce everybody. The Crib crew. We got Irf.
Hello.
We got George.
Evening, everybody.
And Daniel.
Hi, everyone.
And Hefe.
Howdy, everybody. And despite the rumors, there's not a free 30-pack for everybody.
Correct. And I am the BP professor with a Moorline Pilsner. So.
Alrighty.
Drink up and let's do some slides.
Okay. Now we got to keep that. Got to keep that endorsement money coming in.
Yeah, that's right. All right. So first, bug fixes. We're so happy Hefe found some bugs to show us again. Yeah, the Phantom Gluttony aura of I like how you describe that. Because yeah, I saw someone run into that, and I was like, dude, why aren't you just going in the base? He's like, I can't. So yeah, in case you weren't aware, ships would run into the Phantom Gluttony aura and not
funky
be
stuff.
able to move.
Yeah,
forward.
mine. I had a base I went into, and it just flat out turned around. Like they stopped, dead stopped, and turned around. I was like, "What the hell?"
Yeah, his were like.
It was worse just on the Ritz though, wasn't it? Because like twins were actually getting through it, but Ritz were just turning around and spinning on the spot, which was a bit weird.
So it's fixed. Huzzah!
Yeah, there was also another one that I didn't quite understand because it was the way that Rampage put it was basically you understood all the issues. I think there was something wrong with the drone modules on the Megas, but I don't know. I don't know enough about Megas.
I didn't read it and I didn't notice anything.
It was you couldn't build or refit drone modules on Megas, but they fixed it. So when they went live with the update, you couldn't install any drones or upgrade them.
It's weird. I did one not too long ago. Worked fine, but all right. All right, Bounty 4. The controversial announcement about Bounty 4 is that you would also get bounty points by holding a nexus with megaships. So they want to bring megas into bounty, and a lot of people don't like megas, and a lot of people don't like bounty. So
they try to decide. Well, yeah, if players don't like bounty, they don't like megaships. We're going to put them together, and now all of a sudden they're going to love it. It was an odd move by them. I mean, if anybody in chat can think of two things that you dislike separately, but once you put them together, you like, feel free. I was going the food route, but there might be, some sort of celebrities, or I don't know what to.
Didn't like mine.
Wait, I missed it. You didn't tell me when I came back from the beer. What was it?
No, you heard it before you went and got the beer.
I don't recall it.
You don't recall it?
I might have heard it.
Sweat and sticky sheets.
Oh, yeah, yes.
Yeah, now you remember it. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
On that note, segue.
We got megaship changes. So to help you get mega ships for this and future bounty seasons, because I'm sure it's going to be such a roaring success, they're going to keep this feature. They are decreasing the build time of the gantry, and so that's only going to take 7 days. I think it used to be 42. And then they're reducing the requirement of metal alloy and advanced systems for modules and cores. So for levels 1 and 2, you're not going to need any metal alloy or advanced systems. Level 3, you need 1 of each, and level 4, you need 3 of each. And then there's going to be a new titanium cost. So I think this is kind of cool, because before it was kind of rough building up parts for Megaship, because it would take you a day to build your metal alloy or advanced system, whichever one took a day. And then you'd get hit and it would disappear, and then so you'd be safe for a day, and then you could start another one for a day, and then you'd get hit, and then you'd lose it again, and you'd be safe for a day, and so forth. And so theoretically, you could just never advance anything.
Yeah, you do what I
Sorry.
do, and just before you go to bed, go hunting and just hit all of the mega ships with your alliance, steal all of the parts, start your stuff going, and then go to bed.
Yeah, absolutely. And
That's how it was
yeah.
meant to be done. But I mean, the one thing that
well, for that to work, somebody's got to be the farm.
yeah, that's true. The one thing that this brought about, though, is more pressure to get titanium.
Yeah, and titanium is, at least in my opinion, the biggest pain in the ass to get, because you need the steady drip of it, and I mean, it's not a lot of damage, but it just seems to take the longest.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's one of the newer targets that we've come across, and there's no, and they really need to get rid of the.
Well, it's a low payout too.
Well, and they need to get rid of the floating cheese balls, because then you could auto some of the lower ones.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess you could throw enough. You could throw enough gales on it to allow you to do that, but then you're losing.
Yeah, I've gotten hit twice in the last 285s that I did, and I have gales on mine.
Yeah.
So
I got hit in my Apollos in a 45, and it wiped like quarter of my fleet out. I wasn't impressed.
Yeah. That's when I stopped trying to auto things like that. Yeah, and then all the ships blow up with the Reaver scout, or not the scout engine, but the Infernal Core. You can't auto them because of all the residual fire, but that doesn't really cause that much damage. But there is a lot of things preventing you from autoing things.
Well, what I found is that I can auto 65s with my Skyfires for at least instant repair and base. I cannot auto 45s for instant repair. So, but I will auto 65s.
Okay, that's interesting. I haven't really hit. I just hit the 65s and the 85s, or the 45. I'm sorry, the 45s and the 85s. The 45 for the mad resources, and the 85s for the titanium.
Yeah. What I'll usually do is, if I need titanium, I'll drive my Phoenixes in an 85 while I'm autoing skies on a 45, a 65.
65. Okay.
Yeah. So here's the thing about megas, and they get a bad rap, but when you have a mega and you go out with your alliance and you're running around killing stuff, or even when you're defending against a mega that's trying to bust up your hive, it's actually really fun, because you get people with fleets and you get someone with a mega, and you go around and you kick some butt, and it's teamwork, and it's like diverse fleets. I think megaship play can actually be a lot of fun, and so I think more people should try it, and maybe with this change it'll be a little more accessible.
The thing is, though, Larry, it can be fun, but is it? It's not, is it? Because all of the bollocks you got to go through in order to get your mega ship up to standard where you can go and start having fun is shit.
Well, okay, but But is this going to make those bollocks a little easier? This change.
Is there a reason you said "but" twice, Larry?
No.
Never mind. Okay, never mind. I guess you're not looking at the slides. Okay. Never
But
mind,
maybe
never
there
mind.
was a reason I kept saying "but." I don't know.
Okay, I'm sorry. You can move on. We can move on with this conversation. But yeah, I find it useful. I mean, because I just sort of stop because it really prevents people from if you're not part of a large alliance that wants to go out and hit the level 1 and 2 for nothing is just titanium really helps you advance. But I guess there's no change on adding weapons because I don't read anything in here that if you want to add a Congreve rocket or whatever. Do we know if those costs have changed as it relates to metal alloy and advanced systems?
Well, it says modules and cores, so those are modules and cores.
Okay, what's a core? Because I don't see anything.
Well, the module. So when you build a weapon, right? That's a level 1, and then you have and then you have to upgrade the module first.
Okay, and the core is the weapon?
Yeah. So upgrading the module lets you put more like extra stuff on it, and then upgrading the core actually upgrades the effectiveness of the weapon.
Wait. I thought the module. Okay, I'm confused. I thought the module is what you put the weapon on. Oh, it's not. That's the core.
So well, they go together.
Okay.
You have to upgrade the module. The module has to be higher level than the core. And so when you upgrade your module, you upgrade like the number of slots you have to put other stuff on. And then you can upgrade your core, and that upgrades the effectiveness of the weapon.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I think the module and core is only used on the drones. On the weapons, it actually says module and weapon.
Yeah, that's why I was a little. I mean, because I don't have the drone thing, so when I saw modules and cores, I didn't know what a core was. So okay, that makes sense. I'm not at that level.
Yeah, so the bridge. I think it's the bridge, the drone modules, and I don't know about the engines. The engines maybe too. Like I think those are the only ones that show module and core, and then the rest of them I think do module and weapon. Okay. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I know that there is a difference between a regular weapon and the drone one because that messed me up at first.
So, okay. So then maybe Hefe, maybe your question's valid. Then does that also apply to weapons?
Yeah, because I'm just saying because I'm not really a mega guy, so I didn't know what a core was. So I was just trying to clarify.
Yeah, it does.
Knew better.
Yeah, it does. I just checked the I just got into the game. Congreve rocket going from 1 to 2 is just 14,620 titanium. That's
okay.
So that's not bad even.
Yeah. When you click on what was that? That was upgrade weapon. Upgrade module is also 14,620, going from 1 to 2.
Mm-hmm. All right.
That's interesting.
So that's pretty. Well, it's cheaper than it used to be, right? Because it used to be to go from 1 to 2, you needed 4.
Mm-hmm.
What is it? 4 metal and 2 advanced or whatever. So that would have been 70,000 titanium and 50,000 uranium.
Yeah, it looks like it went going from 2 to 3 is 33,310 titanium and only 1 in 1 for parts. So that went down too.
All of it went down.
Huh.
Yeah.
3 to 4 went 3-3.
So if you've been sort of on the fence about this whole mega thing, you might want to just have at it, right?
Catch up pretty quick now.
Yeah.
Well, except the build time is still the same, right?
It's still the build time is still the same.
So you can start queuing it up, but you're not going to catch up quick unless you start spending big bucks.
Mm-hmm.
Which doesn't seem to be worth it. I don't know why you'd spend money on your mega.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, if it starts getting a little bit more fun, but
Well, I mean, it is fun, but still, I mean, like having an extra level of module isn't making it more fun. I don't know.
Yeah, because it's not. It's 3 days to build more. It's not. I don't. I mean, is there really that much of an incremental difference in leveling? From 1 to 2.
Mhm.
There is, or there isn't.
No, it's always the same. It's always 4 days.
No, it's 3 days from 1 to 2. But
He's talking about effectiveness.
I'm talking. Yeah, is it that much more fun? Are you really seeing a real tangible difference?
With the drone modules, absolutely.
Okay. But I think a lot of these changes are made for the people that really don't have the drone modules. But
Yeah,
I could be wrong.
Oh,
you
I mean,
have
if you're going to be doing the TLCs, absolutely, yes, you will absolutely notice if you're upgrading them, because that's just the way that they designed the TLCs. So yeah, I mean, yeah, like I had one mortar that was at, I think the mortar was at like level 4, and that thing just romped stuff in the TLCs.
All right. All right. We done with megas?
Mhm.
Sure.
All right.
I just made this slide because I had
So, because you like big butts.
No, that's part of our Thanksgiving theme. That's about cooking. It's everybody cooking for Thanksgiving. That's what that's about.
All right. We'll get there. Anyway, so Inquisition TLC is back. Let's see. This one is all assault, if I recall correctly. And then you can get Inquisitor and Inquisitor build tokens. If you got the Sinful Scattergun and the Special in the last raid, they work really nice on these Inquisitors. So
Has anybody done any experiment with a really well-built Inquisitor versus the Writ? Does it? Because I keep on getting confused by reports.
By the dot damage.
Yeah, the dot damage, because we get different answers.
They survive.
What?
They survive against them.
They survive? Do they take anything?
They take a bit, but not much.
Okay, but it has like the supercharge, it has everything?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's not, I mean, because if you read everything, yeah, because I really wish I knew how the DOT actually works, because it appears to go in every 6 seconds as opposed to, I wish they would help explain some of that stuff to us, because, and additionally, as it relates to unreactive, there's a lot of inconsistencies in the game as it relates to the damage over time. Dealing with stacks, and it's an outlier.
I used to think I understood DOT, but A, I've forgotten, and B, I'm not so sure I did. So, but
C,
of all the rivals,
in the first place until now.
Yeah, of all the rivals, the Inquisitor is definitely the most useful. Wouldn't you agree?
I think so.
Gentlemen?
Well, especially with the addition of
I'm trying to think of, I mean, the Survivor every once in a while in certain builds, but other than that, for the newer stuff, I don't know about the other 3.
Yeah, exactly. The Survivor, sometimes you like for the buffs it gives the other ships, but yeah.
That's it. Yeah, you just need a blank one.
And then the other thing you need to know if you're going to build Inquisitors with those Sinful Scatterguns is those weapons will not spot for remote targeting.
Yeah, they're underwater weapons like the muddle missiles and whatnot. And I can't remember what the rule is. Is it if it's even a different weapon in an underwater slot? Can you use an Inquisitor to spot it all, even if you don't use an underwater weapon? Oh, you can.
Yeah, it's just a weapon type. They usually will say on the print that it doesn't spot, or you can't use it to spot, but this one didn't. I don't know why. Well, I can guess why, but
because it was written by the same guy that spells it's. All right. All right, let's go to the next one. Forever for the Gluttony. This one gets you Gluttony tokens, not Phantom Gluttony tokens. Also, the Sulfide Deployer gets you the best splash of any weapon special. So sometimes you'll use that on things that aren't scatterguns just for all the splash.
Well, it's equal to the fuel tank.
Yeah. And then
and they stack.
Yep. And then this TLC is the first 3 bases, and then the next 2 siege targets, which aren't too rough. Although I see a lot of players complaining about lag.
Have you hit one this time? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I already burned through all this whole campaign.
Okay, yeah, I have the lag with this, and it's
Yeah, last night I was sitting and the lag was horrendous. It was ridiculous, and everybody was having the same problem.
I mean,
it wasn't so much.
I've always had lag in this, especially in that target on number 5. But I'll just kind of know when they pop, and then I'll just stop. Because usually it's like towards the end after I've taken out the center thing. So I mean, I get it, but I've been able to deal with it in this one.
I done it by sort of just remembering where it all pops up, watching the video.
Yeah.
And then guessing where I was. That's how I was doing it.
Yeah, you get in a rhythm, I guess. And then the other thing is on the bases on the first 3, if you got sloths, those do really well. So, another tip for you. I don't know if you guys are using that or something else.
Yeah, I just want people to watch some videos before they go in because the lag is pretty freaking bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, in 4 and 5 the lag's terrible. So watch the videos, work out a route that you're going to take, and then anticipate where you actually are, not actually where it shows you. That's my advice.
Yeah. All right.
And scatter gluts work really well.
Okay. But if you got those already, do you really need the tokens?
Well, I had half built ones, so.
Okay. All right.
But they're all built now.
Nice. Okay, and then Endgame. She has strong Endgame.
I would have to agree.
Yeah. So let's see. Oppressors, they remote target, but maybe aren't so relevant. I think all the cool kids like sloths better. Yeah.
I mean, after the buff, yeah. Once the speed got up there, hell yeah.
So yeah, I might not even do this one.
It's always good for the tokens, and if you want to put one in your base.
Yeah, I mean, I've got some built already. I don't know.
They're good for tanking some things, especially on TLCs. Have at least one.
Okay. All right. Bye Endgame.
They keep on rerunning all these TLCs and stuff, which it starts the presumption that these things still are good to have or are viable in the game. But how many ships now? I mean, how many hulls are out there now that we have to build, and our dock space is still kind of shitty.
Yeah, but you got to figure, players that don't have them yet and they're still working their way up, they're probably going to appreciate this, hopefully.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
To hit other players of the same, call it, class of base. Didn't we go through this last week, Cafe?
There's more on it. Okay, I basically wanted to explain that last week we looked at the DPS numbers and we're like, okay, it's a little bit better, DPS per ton, it wasn't that much better. There wasn't really a reason to refit it. And so we were talking about, I wanted to come up with something that was like DPS 5 or DPS 10. Like, what's the cumulative damage that this weapon is going to do over time? because one is the the slight gain in DPS, but also it's the initial damage that's being done. And as you see, if you're going to hit something if you're going to kill that target in 5 seconds, you got basically a 40% bump in damage with the Nightmare over the Delirium. This table is assuming it's a Scald ship, and you have advanced torpedo tubes on it. And it's not as small of a damage difference as it appears by just using.
Can I just say, Hefe, if you click on Larry just to lock him on the screen so that they can actually see the table, will probably be easier.
He's been locked on since the slides were started.
All right.
Yeah,
Cool.
the hangout looks different than the YouTube.
All right. Cool. No worries.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and maybe the other way to look at it is if you look at like similar numbers on the left and on the right, like at let's say 5 seconds with the Nightmare, you've done 71,000 damage. To do that much damage with the Delirium takes 7 seconds. So it's in that case it's 2 seconds slower, or 40% slower to do the same amount of damage. And then you can even see that at the bottom, like 8 seconds to 10 seconds, it's kind of similar amounts of damage being done. So it just kind of shows that you kill targets faster.
And also the way that people are driving the Fangtooth, where it's difficult to say snug with those guys all the time because they're switching how they drive. You may have a point in time where you're not firing at them. So
right,
the fact that the new weapon has twice the reload time. Well, twice the reload time, but not quite twice. Never mind. I won't get into that fact. But you may not be firing all the time, and you may be getting out of their range. You're going to be doing a lot more damage with the Nightmare over the Delirium because the reload time isn't the same factor because the way that we drive this ship.
Yeah.
That you may getting out of range and then getting back in, and then you're resetting back here where you're doing well more than twice the damage for that first. So.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
And then the Hunter, I assume we've got the same thing.
Yeah, we have this plus one more, but we can waive it. But yeah, it's basically the same thing.
Yeah, and you can almost see it's sort of the same. Well, here it's not that far different, but
yeah, that's because we did it. We're doing it by time salvo, and I broke it. I originally had this as 0.25 seconds.
Oh, I didn't think about that when we were doing it last night. The salvo smears it out and maybe messes things up a little.
Yeah, and if I decrease the time, I just didn't want people to have to. Well, the graphs are so hard to make presentable in Google Slide or Google Sheets, and so I went with. I mean, I can make them, but they look like crap. But yeah, because I originally had it. We originally had it plotted out at every quarter of a second. And that's much more consistent. You don't see these jumps that we're seeing.
Well, except it wasn't right because I wasn't accounting for the salvo time.
Yeah. You are
anyway.
Well, you
Well,
are.
I was. It wasn't right in the middle of a salvo.
Yeah. I mean, once you break into time, it does change the issue as far as the salvos go. But if I make these time increments small enough, that's what I'm trying to say. If the time increments are small enough, all those salvos will be accounted for. So I really like doing it by time as opposed to by salvo because you can graph it easier. There's other things going on there. But as you see, it's worth putting on.
Okay.
And then this is sort of some of what started this or continuation of this. This assumes the houndstooth that's Scald, and looking at the Strike Warhead, which has a 12-hour build time, and Advanced Concussive, which has basically a 2-hour and 12-day build time. This
2
is
day and
assuming
12 hour.
Yeah, 2 days and 12 hours. So it's additional 2 days to build Advanced Concussive. So 10 days across a fleet. This is also using the Houndstooth. As you see, the Advanced Concussive, which has lower damage numbers by 5.7%, but it has additional reload. And this is just showing when the Strike Warhead is surpassed by Advanced Concussive with the Houndstooth. The number the number's around 6 seconds using the Wolf's Tooth. I'm not saying refit it. All I'm saying is if you're still putting your hunters together and you don't have an extra 10 days, use the Strike Warheads, because most likely things might be dead before you have the change in which is more powerful, and they're really close the whole time. You know, it's not a huge difference considering the large disparity in build times.
Yeah. Okay.
So.
Happy Thanksgiving. I appreciate our Native American hosts, especially when they look like her.
Yes.
All right. Is there anything more to this page? Should I just stay here for a bit?
Slides.
Okay, well, I'll just stay here for a bit.
Okay. All right.
So, yeah. Short slides. Oh, just over half an hour. How about that?
Yeah, well, they didn't give us much as far as the release went. I mean, it's understandable. I really wish, it's Thanksgiving weekend in the U.S. and whatnot, so they didn't make it too onerous. They pushed Bounty to the following week, but there wasn't a huge amount of content, which I think is a good move considering that's a lot of people are traveling and spending time with family this week.
And still upset at the FM.
Yeah. I mean, because I didn't put an FM slide out there, but that's something I think that I don't know if anybody out on YouTube, as far as the chat goes, are you still playing the game and having a really hard time with the FM? Because I think a lot of people. Okay, go ahead, Laura. I'm sorry.
No, I think the key, George has talked about it to death, and other people have as well. How great you'll do with 2 Zealous. I think Earth showed it first, in fact. But if you don't have 2 Zealous, maybe you have a Zealous and a Gridiron. That's what I was doing last week, and I was getting maybe 15, 20 minutes damage per 115. But then this week I got a second Zealous in order and am taking 0. But the point is that if you don't have 2 Zealous, then 2 other countermeasure ships won't be as good, but it will probably get you through the FM.
Oh,
if you have a bunch of mono tokens, you can actually do 1 Zealous and just put a couple countermeasures, put the sprints on the monos instead. That worked out really well for me.
I
got the second Zealous.
Yeah, because even last week I was doing them for instant repair on the map with 1 Zealous.
Yeah, okay.
But I had a ton of countermeasures involved, and I was only actually running two offensive monoliths. But the rest of them were, 1 Zealous and a Gridiron, my old Gridiron.
You got to teach them to be more polite.
What?
Because they're offensive.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true. But I had 3 defensive ships: a Gridiron, and a Gridiron that I'd already had built, and then a Zealous. And then when I saw those original 115 targets, I put together just a normal monolith with the what's the name of the rocket countermeasure? The sprint.
Sprint. Yep.
Yep.
So do we want to talk about the shitty gold offers? I mean, I'm sorry, the less than economical gold offers that we are used to.
I didn't get a gold offer. I saw a whole bunch of.
You got 5 of them.
Oh, I must have missed them.
Yeah, I mean, they're not wonderful. As far as your best bang for your, your best bang for your buck is the cheapest ones, which are $4.99.
But only 70 gold.
Oh, they offered it 105.
They offered them 3 times, and those give you 14 gold per dollar. And I'm not sure how much per euro or shekel or whatever other monetary unit people might be.
I mean, yeah, the loony. That's funny. All the Canadian viewers. I mean, the one that's
we love you, Canada.
Yeah, the one that's just kind of bugging me like is the 1325 gold for 99.99. I mean, for $100 you already get 1250, so it's only like an extra 75 gold. I mean, come on, man. If someone's gonna blow $100, you can do better than that.
Yeah, the worst one's the middle one.
I don't know what you get for $50. I didn't look.
Yeah, it's as far as gold per dollar, it's the worst. The best.
Yeah, 625.
Yeah, so you're only getting 50 extra. It's usually 575 for 50. That's lame.
Yeah, but if you want to spend money on gold, and you only want to spend $15, the bottom 3 are the best, but they're still not equivalent to the Millennium Gun deal.
No, I don't think yeah, I wish that came back.
Yeah. I wouldn't say that we may never see that again, considering Q8, but it's
that one. That was awesome.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. For $19.99, you got 500 gold and the Millennium Gun.
Yep.
I did that one.
Yeah.
That was the Christmas present. That was our Christmas present for that year.
For a couple hours.
Yeah.
But I mean, the thing is these $4.99 ones used to be 100 gold, and then it went to 90 gold, and now it's at 70 gold. I mean, shit. Like, I'm a stingy bastard, but man, that's stingy even to me.
Yep.
Crap.
Well, at least maybe they're encouraging micro purchases.
No, man, it goes back.
The best deal of $5 bill.
It goes back to the feeling of getting nickel and dimed in this game, and it's going all the way to not only the stuff they were putting out, and it's including the damn offers now, for crying out loud. I mean, there was, what was it? Someone had an offer for like Cannoneers or some shit a week or two ago for like $100. Man, $10. It's an old ass fleet now. It's not going to do shit in the next raid. $9.99. There's a fleet of Cannoneers. You're going to have to refit them because they're shitty builds anyway. Have fun, right? What are you doing $100 for? I don't get the pricing and some of the stuff. The pricing structure is way off.
Well, bringing up the Cannoneers and a rip-off deal. I mean, the lag that's going on in the siege targets.
Ugh.
They need to address, because
like a week ago, I was hitting a 99, and I got this like burst of lag, and then it crashed on me, and then so I lost my fleet before I could get back in, and then I finally like rebuilt it because it was over the weekend where they did all those TLCs and VXP weekends and all that, and so it took me like a full weekend to get the whole fleet repaired. I hit another 99, and I got in the same crash in the same place. Lost the fleet again.
And weren't they had said on one of the shows that they were going to take care of the popping up crap? They were just going to start it up on the surface, and that never happened.
Yeah,
they said they would look at that one. Yeah,
and then the memory the memory leakage is freaking insane. I can't figure out why they can't get that handled.
Well, and Grimace brought up a good point. I noticed it's not just that target. That it started with that target was being really bad, but the 115, it's not that lag where all of a sudden you're spinning out of control, going through walls, and you can't control anything. But in the 115, I'm like click, 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 click. It's eating so many clicks.
Yes. Oh yeah, that you're not the only one. And I'll actually get it really, really bad, and I'll actually start getting some heavy lag in the top corner. Like as you're coming around, I guess it's the top right, but it's the very top corner. It's the top of the screen. When I get there, like my fleet is almost completely unresponsive.
Yeah, and I have a hard time like moving the screen on that target.
Yeah. Does it make you click your fleet when you're trying to move the screen sometimes? Because that's happened a bunch of times
Yeah, it
on the
does to me,
left hand. Yeah, on the left hand corner, as I'm going around that corner, I try to scroll, grab the screen to scroll down, and instead it turns my fleet around trying to go back. I'm like, come on.
Yeah, usually right when you get in right next to mines, it turns your fleet around into the mines. It's usually their favourite one.
That's some shit.
What I was going to say as well though is that cannoneer deal that they've got, it's like 34 coin repair on it.
Oh yeah, if you lag out with the cannoneer fleet, you're fucked. Yeah,
Right.
I mean, it's yeah, no.
And it's
the
18 and a half
Kickside build
hours.
Yeah, the Kickside build is 34 coins per it, so it's crazy.
The Ironclad is a little bit better for its
I
chore.
got locked in between one of the islands that popped up, one of the platforms that popped up. I actually got stuck in the middle of it and couldn't move
Oh,
and got nailed.
jeez.
That was funny. Not. Yeah.
But I am disappointed in the whole reaction because there's been a lot of threads that gotten shut down, and there's people this siege target issue has been going on for a long time, and it's I don't know why. I mean, it all popped up. Personally, I didn't have any issue with lag, at least to this degree, in these targets until Bounty 1.
Yeah, Bounty 1 is when the memory leakage started happening too.
Yep.
Yeah, and they need to take a look at what's going on there because it's like this. The Forever is it's not unplayable, but I'm like I can do these targets for historically during the raid I could do these for no damage whatsoever, and now I'm taking damage because I'm losing 3 seconds at a time on these targets and forces me to take damage. So I'm not happy with this, and it makes me even more worried with the next. I'm hoping they don't have this pop-up mechanism because Siege is next, correct, gentlemen?
Yes.
Yep.
Should be.
Yeah. So sure, George. I don't know exactly what that's about, but we can, unless it's really scandalous.
I mean, I don't know because I'm afraid if well, I mean, I don't know. It's gonna put everything kind of in a mixed bag because if they try and fix that, there's gonna be a whole lot of people just outright quitting, and if they don't fix it, then it's just weird that it works differently. I mean, that's why I'm asking if you guys want to even mention it.
Well, we've seen. I mean, the question that people may not understand. George asked, should we mention the duality mechanic, the duality countermeasure that's on the Zelos and also on the Harlech Citadel, but that's probably not as relevant. Working different and different targets, and I guess you should explain that a little bit more, George, because I don't think everybody.
So I guess yes, we're talking about it.
Well, I don't even know what you're talking about. I'm not even sure what you're going to say about it, to be honest.
So one of the things that was happening when we were trying to mess with the 115 was that we were noticing the duality was shooting down the arc missiles, which it hadn't done before. Right before it was just the Phalanx 4. That's how we were doing it in the 113s, and that's why we were putting the Phalanx 3s on the Zealous because we wanted the duality to shoot first, and then whatever it missed, the Phalanx would get a shot at. Right, or the Phalanx would be able to shoot at the arcs that were getting through after the duality dealt with the whatchamacallit missiles, the other ones. And now what we're noticing is that the duality is doing that. It also would shoot the duality in the past would not shoot a tagged projectile. So if a missile came at you and your Phalanx had shot at it first, the duality wouldn't try and shoot at it. In the 115s, it does. You can miss with your Phalanx, and the duality will start shooting at the bloody thing the minute that it gets in range, or that you have.
I'm guessing this is intended because I reckon that this is how they've attempted to fix it so that you only need one Zelo.
I don't know, because the thing is that the way that it used to work still happens in every other target that I've tested it in with missiles. If a Phalanx shoots at a missile first, the duality will not shoot at it, except in the 115. I haven't tried in the 89, but and it's very strange. Like I'm very worried about things changing. I'm real worried about the field, the stacking field for the Zealous, which is why the 2 Zealous work so well. I don't know. I like this whole 115. It's turned into a complete utter debacle, and they probably could have avoided it if they actually had done some previews beforehand. Before the very first one came out.
Yeah, I agree.
After that, it's just been reactionary.
And putting transition targets from the start would have been good as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they should have. Yeah, that would have been great. Because now everything that they have to do is by needs must, they have to be reactionary because there's nothing to fall back to. Right? They already put in the new 115. That was a utter disaster, and then they had to tune this one so that people that had refit for the first 115 weren't completely boned.
Don't mind me. I just wasted a couple weeks of shipyard time building a Skyfire, Gutsbill Skyfire. That's all right.
Why?
I'm still building mine.
Yeah,
I ran out of agility. I ran out of agility damn systems. Pissed. I'm taking them off my prides. It doesn't matter. My prides are freaking useless now.
Didn't they carry you in the last bounty, George?
They did. I hit I got almost all my points from hitting bases, and I was using those damn prides. And you should have seen how pissed off I was when there were some bases I would go in and I didn't see that Omega cannon. Right, it wasn't there, or it didn't. It didn't load. So I was like, oh cool, I'm gonna be able to hit this base. Right, I might lose like half a fleet or whatever. I go in, fucking dead. Damn thing just starts firing. I'm like, what the hell, man? So that was my But yeah, no, they did okay. The problem is it was really, I got to learn how to drive them very well because you had to in order to do anything with the damn things. But they weren't. It wasn't fun. It was very difficult to use them to hit a base, unless I was hitting baby seals, and then it was just click the back of the base.
Right.
That's pretty much all I done in the last bounty. Was just hit little bases.
I think that's all anybody did.
Yeah, I just.
Well, there's high-end players that weren't, but most players.
I just timed it so that it worked out right. That every time they got a bunch, I was there to collect it.
Yeah, I wish I had gotten those jackpot things, man. Holy shit.
Yeah, I wish I had too.
Larry doesn't like them.
No, I don't. Because if you're on the right time of day that you don't know when it's going to be, then you can clean up. Otherwise, nope.
You're fucked. Yep.
Yeah, and that's
it made it very difficult. I had gotten, I think like 300 points more than I needed to get the King's Writ, and that's all I was able to get. And that was with one. I actually did hit one jackpot. I was lucky enough to find one on the last night, and it brought me up over to have enough of that. But they were like, oh well, you're gonna have to hit bases to get the top prize. That's all I fucking did was hit bases, and I didn't have enough to get the prize without that jackpot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I sort of hit a wall and I got to like 15k. I just couldn't get past it because there's just not enough bounty out there to get.
Yeah, it seems if you start early and you load up as many points as you can early in the first couple days, somehow it works out where you end up getting more by the end of the bounty than if you had started midway through. I'm not exactly sure how the hell that works, but
well, it's all that stuff you've banked, I guess.
Well, there's also more targets out there to hit.
Yeah, either the banking or it's the way that they do the the banking system itself, right? Maybe just
Yes.
get a couple more banks at the beginning. I don't know.
I mean, look, with the jackpots, you know, I don't object to the concept. It's just they ought to just have them as rare spawns continuously.
Yeah. You know, I mean, what was the top one for the 99 was like what 3,200 or some shit. I mean, why not just knock it down to, you know, 1,200 and have it spawn 4 or 5 times a day?
Well, right. And what jackpot does is it's a way of injecting bounty into the economy. So it's a good thing in the macro sense, but the way they do it just feels unfair.
But
Well,
are they
and-
gonna?
And if that's part of it, though, Larry, I mean, wouldn't it be better to have smaller payouts that don't bump you into a banking situation?
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's out there, you know what I mean? So it's actually still in the economy rather than locked away.
Banked. Yeah. You're right.
I mean, I just don't understand why they're doing once a day, and I don't know.
All right, I'm going to have to leave you guys. I've got things to do.
All right,
Okay,
Irv.
Irv.
All right, see you, Irv.
You join us?
This is all
See you,
there.
Irv.
Yeah, because we were about to get into how the repeal of net neutrality is going to impact the siege targets, and I'm not sure if that's going to impact.
Oh God.
Could.
It could, well, he's in the UK, so it may affect him in some way, since the servers are in the US. Right?
Pay your ISP an extra $5 and get the fast lane to Kixeye.
Not that it'll help.
Yeah.
Not that it'll.
Everybody, write your senator, write your congressman. I didn't even consider this to be a political thing. This is just silliness at this point. At least the way I understand it. Maybe somebody else says it.
Well, you know, after the last election, political things and silliness have basically merged into the same thing.
That's true.
And
But,
Cheetos stock has gone up.
yeah. Okay. Yep.
I couldn't help it. I just couldn't. That was just it's too much fun. I had fun. I have fun with every president. I mean, come on. Have you seen the last couple that we've had? I mean, from Clinton on.
Yeah. Well,
But,
yeah.
I'm gonna
Hey,
post
I knew
the
you'd be
link
back.
I'm gonna post the link in case anybody would like to join the show. Talk about tips and tricks for Thanksgiving dinner.
Sous vide your turkey.
No.
Oh boy.
Oh, hell yeah.
How are you doing that? You're doing that in a garbage bag?
Well, I'm just doing the 5 of us, so it's just a turkey breast, like a 5-pound breast.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's going right in. Oh, it's so good.
I've done.
Well, I mean,
I've done
people
chicken breast.
do. I was gonna say people do turkeys in bags now. I mean, for several years now.
Well, you
right?
can do the oven bag, sure,
Yeah.
and that's better than not. But yeah, sous vide. Oh,
So what do you?
I'm so psyched.
Are you searing it afterwards, or what are you doing?
No, I didn't even sear it afterward because I got the skinless. But yeah, I've seen people sear it.
It's got to look nasty, though. Searing it afterwards, or what are you doing?
No, somebody's got some echo, man. Is it? Yeah.
I think somebody's got their tubes
It was
on.
Grimace and both of them actually when they came in. Scott both had their tubes on.
Turn your YouTube volume off and then unmute yourself, guys. Yeah, so actually I cheat a little bit. So I rub it with some paprika, salt, and sugar, and the paprika makes it look a little more appetizing.
Yeah, I was gonna say otherwise it's got to look nasty when it comes out.
Yeah, it just looks white. Yeah, it looks white. It's fine.
Okay. Do you have a
And
heat
it's
gun?
so
though?
tasty. No,
You
I
can just stick
don't.
it, I was gonna say stick it in the oven and broil it for like 3 minutes.
Yeah,
Or the
people
heat
do that. But
Yeah,
if
'cause-
somebody would like to buy me a heat gun this holiday
Oh,
season,
shit.
that would be a great gift.
You can buy one for like $9 that will put out 1,200 Fahrenheit. Take a look at that. That's not. It's not an expensive purchase. $9.
This is true.
I mean, you buy them at the hardware store, not the Sears all.
All right.
Which is I don't even know how much is Sears all. Do you?
I don't know.
Do you, Larry? Yeah, those are hundreds of bucks, and they're propane based. And
Guys, I'm gonna bounce. I'm gonna bounce, but I want to
Okay.
say happy Thanksgiving to everybody over here, and hope everybody has a good holiday and a safe one.
Cool.
Okay, George.
Have a good night, guys.
Same to you, George.
Night, George.
Night.
All right, should we unmute our guests, or can they unmute themselves?
We can't unmute them. They have to unmute themselves.
Okay. So if you, there we go.
Grimace knows, and Scott's snacking on something, so I'm not sure if he realizes.
All right, Grimace, what's shaking?
Not much. Trying to get through all these damn TLCs.
But why? What's your end point with all these TLCs? Since, I mean, I guess one point is we expect there to be a one ship to rule them all as far as the auras go, coming out not in this upcoming raid, but it's maybe the next, not this bounty, but maybe the following bounty. That there's going to be something to up the auras, but right now they're sort of if anybody has the Omega, they're going to kill them all, right?
Yeah, I just wanted to get some tokens for my gluts, because I have a lot of, I have 12 of those, so I'm kind of refitting some, and then I got my Inquisitors going, so I just need to do some small refits, so I wanted tokens for those too. So
yeah, and it is odd that the Inquisitors don't have. That's the only one that doesn't have VXP tokens anywhere, and then you have to use the
Mega.
the Mega in order to get those. The rest of them have the other tokens. So, how about you, Scott? How are you doing?
Not bad. Took a couple weeks off after they changed the FM. Came back. The changes seem to have made things a little bit more reasonable.
Yeah, I mean, I actually like the new targets better than the old targets. I just don't like the point payout. I don't like to have, but this week it's much better because last week I went and got all the prizes. Now I just need to go in and get tokens. So I need to hit like 4 or 5.
That was my experience as well. I got caught up last week, and then this week I hit like 4 targets, and I was like done, which was much better. But they're crazy with the way they're changing stuff on the fly. There seems to be no rhyme or reason to it, which I find super frustrating.
There's not a lot of communication on like why or when they're going to do this stuff.
No. And I'm a dummy. I bought $100 worth of coins like 3 days ago, and then today the special comes out with. I'm like, all right, great. I got screwed.
Well, yeah.
Well, if you bought 100 coins, you didn't get screwed that much.
No, you said $100.
No, $100.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, I'm sorry, $100, but you got 1250.
Yeah.
Right. And with the offer, what are you getting? Like
it's $13.75. It's not like the end of the world, but it's just the principle. It's the principle of it.
Yeah. I mean, because they always do these sort of. It's before, but it's not exactly a Black Friday sale. But they always tend to do these Black Friday sales, and they'll have another one. They do a couple during the holiday season, and they also do them when they fuck up. So this one's a planned one. Sometimes
the fuck up should be far more frequent.
Yeah, that's true. But sometimes, they realize a raid's not working well or something like that. And
you mean the one that no one participated in, which is what the last one or the 2 before that?
The raid. I think the numbers were down on that one, but I mean, as long as you were paying attention, I didn't find this raid cycle to be terribly objectionable.
I hate subs, so if you hate subs, this was
this isn't a sub. The only reason it's a sub is you can't launch it until it's fully repaired because it doesn't surface. It doesn't. I mean, it's so unsub-like that I'm like, why did you hate subs?
I hate subs in general just because I think they're super difficult to navigate. unless you have the preset keys and you can, you know what I mean, the macros set up so that it's easier to navigate. But for the Fangtooth, maybe my build just sucks, but I didn't do the TLCs to get the charged armors, so they got like annihilated very quickly.
Yeah, the Fangtooth is not. It could be the charged armor issue, and they've done a lot of stuff with the defensive arts. They've made the charged armors pretty easy to get.
I've refitted
But as far as
them
driving
since,
them, okay, yeah, because as far as driving them, I don't know that they're any different than I find them extremely easy to drive, and they're not sub-like at all because they never surface.
That's true. I'll give you that.
And you're not usually hiding.
That's true. I got spoiled in the icebreakers. I thought the icebreakers are a phenomenal hull. I really enjoyed the icebreakers. I think they're fun as hell to play. They're easy. I mean, they're straightforward.
Well, yeah, you know what's funny is I didn't like icebreakers during the raid, and then after the raid and a lot of the targets, yeah, they started getting a lot more fun. I don't know, maybe it's just because I didn't build the Visagos until late, but yeah, I didn't like them during the raid, but I really like them now.
Well, also, Larry, you only had a couple. You were trying to use like 2 of them at first, right?
Yeah, maybe 3, but yeah.
Yeah, because it wasn't even necessarily the Visagos. It's that combat speed and defensive bonuses associated with it that stack up to 5 times, which are really significant.
Sure.
You know, and so, yeah, it's sort of like the hunters. If you have 2 of them, they're going to suck. You have 3 of them, they're going to suck. You got to get all the way to 5 before they're going to be a decent hull to use. And I mean, I guess they're doing that for a reason. Because I'm not going to have any.
Is it really fair to them require us to have 2 raid hulls? Because I am tired of having to make 2 fleets.
I mean, that's
a whole issue.
That's the controversy right there.
I mean, what happened to having 1 good raid fleet and you're all set? You're good to go. I'm done. Now it's you got to prepare 1 fleet. You got to try and coin it or buy tokens or however manage your tokens to get 1 fleet done, and then it's like hopefully I can manage to get a 2nd fleet built in time. That to me is you're asking too much of the community. I don't mind spending $100 a month. I mean, that's my personal limit. I'll spend $100 a month for coins, and when it's gone, it's gone. I'm done. And it used to be I'd hit all 3 raids, I'd be good, and now it's to the point where I'm hitting 2 out of every 3 raids, and I'm taking a raid off because it's ridiculous. You're asking too much for me to spend. It's not fair.
I'll have to say with the last this last raid series, I don't really think we have to have both fleets. I've done perfectly fine so far with just my Fangs. Now, would I like to have 2 fleets? Yes. But, I mean, I've gotten everything I've wanted and helped a lot of people out in my alliance and even in the sector with just Fangs.
Yeah, I was the same way. I'm the only reason I'm even building the other fleet, the Hunters, is just so I could do TLCs and do the chores after the fact.
Right.
Yeah, and I agree with that. You almost have to have 2 fleets for those TLCs that will probably come out.
Yep.
Is that a fair expectation though? That's my bigger point. I don't think it's fair. I mean, there was for the longest time 1 raid fleet was all you needed. Why all of a sudden do we need 2? You know, you came up with the generalist hulls that were supposed to you just refit them. You're good to go. All right, that's a great idea. And all of a sudden now you need 2 raid fleets, and then you need a generalist set of hulls that you can refit. Come on.
So
everyone's running monos with Zelos tanks. I have 1 Zelos tank. I still have to refit a 2nd Zelos tank. I still got to build the shipyard for the Conquerors because I haven't built that yet. It's like, at what point do they give us a chance to catch our breath and get caught up?
I agree. I see some people in my alliance that we got them the Fangs before, the first of this series, and they're still building Fangs. Whereas I've had my full fleet since just before the last raid, and now I'm building Hunters. So, people are at different points in the game, and for those people that are, kind of struggling, no, it doesn't make any sense to need 2 fleets at all.
What do you think, Professor? You're the expert.
Well, you know, you said you don't have the Conqueror hull built, the Conquest yard built, and I gotta encourage you to do that, because that takes a lot of pressure off, because then you can do your you can keep building your PvE fleets, and then still kind of start getting going on PvP fleets. I finally got my bus built, and then starting Twin Blades and Phantom Gluttony, and so you're not going to get caught up. I think you say you want to be caught up. It's Kicksai's goal to not let you be caught up, because there's always wants to be pressure to get something. That's how they keep people coining, and they're a business that depends on people coining. So you're never going to be caught up, but having that Conquest yard takes a lot of pressure off. So I really recommend that.
I've never taken a raid off till the last raid. Does that put some pressure on them to, like, hey, you need to make this more attainable?
No.
I mean, one person, no, but if your decision is indicative of a bunch of players that are doing that, then hopefully they notice.
I mean, it seems like they kind of picked up on it, that we've kind of had enough after the last FM bunch of changes. But at the same token, I'm like, have they really learned their lesson, or is it going to be next month back to the same thing?
Yeah.
Past history proves that it'll be the same thing.
Yeah,
Wow,
what are you waffling for, Doc?
What a loaded question, I guess. Jesus.
There's I'm in the town hall, and there's stuff we can't talk about. So I think it's going to keep getting better. It's tough to make any promises, right? Because you never know with these guys. But I feel like they're listening, and they've been kind of bouncing some changes, and they seem like they'll be for the better. So I just you just got to wait and see. I'm hoping 2018 will be a little better.
I mean, how many pages was the forum post for the complaints about the FM changes?
Oh yeah, they screwed up the FM, and they know it, and they changed it again, and we were talking about it in the town hall, and I told them, all right, look guys, just don't change it again, okay? What I'm noticing about this FM target is that there is still, in a sense, a wide spread of damage that players are taking. Some players still have to fight through it and take a lot of damage, and some players have it down, which means that players can progress, right? So I feel like these targets are okay as they are, and they just need, they're doable.
Do they pay out enough?
I'm sorry?
Do they pay out enough, though?
I don't think they do.
For the first, I mean, I think the other way that they might fix that, as opposed to changing the cost of the prizes, or the payout, is to release them weekly and think about how they release them weekly.
So look, if you're dialed in, right, you can do a full round of the FM, 6 115s, and if you're good, they'll take you 5 minutes or a little less per target. Okay. Right? So it's a half hour for a round of the FM. Okay, if you only need chests, that's what I did. I did six targets and got all the chests. Right? So then if you say, well, 2 rounds is 12 targets, right? 12 115s. And that's an hour. I think an hour a week to do the FM is actually not so bad.
I would agree with you.
Yeah, I got a question about the Conquest yard.
Okay.
I've got mine built. I've been using it a lot. Have you guys noticed that you're going through, obviously, way more titanium, way more res? The needs for everything have ramped up.
Well, you're doing twice as much.
Yeah,
so
right. You're building twice.
And I get that. So you get this advantage of.
one thing
Go
I'm
ahead.
trying to do is that when I have token builds for Conquerors, I try and do them when my regular yard is free, so I don't have that titanium cost.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, the thing that makes sense is to build holes only in the Conqueror yard, and then build, refit them in your regular yard.
Maybe.
Because that saves you titanium?
Yeah, as long as you don't have an immediate pressure on your time. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, right now I'm still I'm refitting the escalation weapon on my Fangtooth. So that's when my regular yard is busy.
You can't do your Fangtooth, right? You can't do your Fangtooth in the Conquest.
Right. So I've got a twin blade building in the Conquest yard.
Yeah.
And then, but when I get through my Fangtooth, I'm not even going to refit my hunters. I'm going to leave them as they are, and then I'm going to just start cranking out Conquerors at least until the whole raid, which will be a couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, kind of what I was saying. I know it's a no-brainer that you're building double holes, so you're going to have a lot more, resource costs or whatever. But I've noticed I spend a lot of time now just trying to get those resources to keep those two shipyards going. And I'm autoing the titanium targets, but then you need ships to do the TLCs. You need so if you're autoing and taking damage, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm like the privileged few.
Part
like
of what you're saying.
Part
of what you're saying is it's harder to get some of the resources than what it used to be. There are not as many targets out there to hit them, unless you have snowfall.
Well, and there's a lot of things that you actually have to drive now. You can't auto as much as you used to be able to.
So what's interesting about resources, though, is that like the high end, call it special resource targets, pay out crappy resources.
Yeah,
but the low end ones pay good resources, right? The level 30 base parts, the level 45 titanium, those pay good resources. The other one that I really like for resources is the north and east side of the dubs. Fill up your icebreaker fleet. So those take about a minute.
The other thing I like doing is hitting the level 100s by the track bases.
Do those pay good res?
Yes, they do.
Oh, I didn't know that.
In the 57 uranium targets.
If you go out with a what's that goofy little creature called? One of the crews, the wharf rats. If you go out with him loaded on, you can get a lot from the 100s. It's like 150 million total. If you got 5 of the icebreakers.
All right, guys, I am gonna have to sign off for the night. Been fun. Happy sailing.
All right, Larry. Thanks
have a good Thanksgiving. Enjoy your turkey.
All right, see you
later, Larry.
All right, so I got another question for you guys. King's Writ. Anyone have any success with taking those things out in your base?
I don't know. Rum hasn't been in my sector, so I don't know.
Well, there's been some discussion on the forums. People are saying that if you use the epic Cataclysm mortars and you get enough fire supports on them, that they'll take out those King's Writs. But they're talking like, I don't know, I've seen anywhere from 245% up to like 300% damage increase from fire supports, and I'm just having trouble getting that much on my turrets.
Yeah, because you need to use the smaller. You need to use the smaller.
The res gens.
Yeah, because they have a smaller footprint, and so you can mix those with the warehouses, and and you can't put the top end on them. You can't put the fire support 2, but you can put fire support 1 on them. And
on the res gens.
Yeah, on the res gens. And so stacking them in a certain way that, you put those on the inside and then you put the warehouses on the outside. And then you also, you need to double up on, as far as your warehouses, putting fire support 2 and fuel air emissions 2 on them. and then you can get up there. But it's just the geometry of your base as far as how you do that. Because mine's, I think, unless I look, mine's, I haven't got to some of those crazy numbers. Mine's are like 185.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it's
I haven't got up to those crazy numbers because I started some build for a level 9 turret, and I need to build like several more res generators in order to place them properly.
I think that's the biggest problem that they've got going on right now, is with the build times they have on these turrets, they've got the game slowed down so much that only mega coiners are having a tremendous amount of success.
Yeah, and see, I got rid of all my res gens because of the bloodthirst.
Everybody did. Everybody that was playing smart did. Now, guess what? They're going to make those come back. So,
Yeah.
are we going to be stuck again?
Well, except for we got more land, so you stick them in the middle. They're on your center island at this point, as opposed to
Yeah, but now I'm rebuilding all of that stuff, and I mean they're a lot faster than a turret is, but still, it takes a long time.
It doesn't take that long if you got base parts.
Well, it's a lot of base parts, a lot of base parts.
Yeah, I mean it's not. I don't think it's that many, personally. I mean, I go out. You have a Harlock you have a cannoneer fleet, right?
Yeah, I've got that and IBs or ICs, but still, I mean, it just with everything else that's going on, it just seems like it takes forever.
Yeah, if you don't have a huge lag issue in the 103.
Oh, I do.
Okay.
I've been doing the 99s.
I've been using I have less trouble in the 103s, and I use the Fearless Blitzers. And I can run through them without any damage 2 out of 3 times.
Yeah, I'm about 50-50 on mine, so.
Yeah, that's 300,000 base parts, which is how many days? It's a huge amount of days.
Well, I'm also coming from a sector where there's a lot of snipers, so it makes it difficult a lot of times.
Yeah, snipers suck. Yeah, they need to figure out, because they need to figure out the repair efficiency on some of these ships, because that's not. I mean, the cannoneers can't defend themselves against snipers at all, and they have a huge repair time.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I was just wondering how they were getting those high numbers on their turrets, because I had a King's Writ fleet come in with the bus and everything, and he just basically sat there in my base and did his job, and I took him down to like 75%, but it took forever, and then of course he flattened me.
Yeah.
So with Downing coming up, I don't want that happening.
Okay.
Well, they're back on where the base hitters are on top. I mean, with the Sinquisitors, the Sin Gluts, and the King Writ, and the Twin Blade, it's definitely a hitter's world right now.
Well, and I mean, I've had a few fleets come in, and it's all about where they came in my base, and they took so much damage off the start they would just leave. But this guy got lucky, came in a different spot, and just walked right through, And it literally was just the geometry of the target where he came in.
All right. Should we progress to the after show, or anybody have anything besides Happy Thanksgivings to tell everybody?
No, we go to the after show.
What?
So no, we can go to the after show.
All right. Well, I'm going to post the link on the right-hand side, and in case anybody would like to join us, feel welcome to. I mean, it's been a short week as far as updates and whatnot, so I don't know. Unless anybody had any particular questions, I think we're going to move on and see you all on Friday, and see if anything's changed in the world of BP since then. So
all right.
Anybody want to say goodnight?
Good night, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving.
Good night. Happy Thanksgiving.